who are taking their time to be here today. Thank you for making yourself available for this session too. Hello? Can
go ahead.
Anyone hear me?
Yeah, hello.
We can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So I just wanted to be sure you can hear me because I was not hearing anything. So I just want to quickly share a few of my thoughts with you this afternoon. I just want to pick up my slide from, or do you have, okay, I guess you have my slide with you. Or should I?
Yes, you can share
pick up the one I have with me? Okay, okay. Okay, do you have my screen now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'll say thank you for having me. I do digital marketing professionally, and I've done this for 11 years plus now. We pioneered a lot of stuff in Nigeria. At the time when people were still calling it internet marketing and all of that. My first startup failed in 2009 when I ventured into trying to use digital to drive stuff. Then internet penetration was very low. People were still using dongles. There were limited wireless within spaces. There were a lot of cables everywhere. I did one too in 2007 that also didn't scale because we're much more ahead of our time. But I just want to discuss how marketing and technology works as it pertains to digital and as it's reference to social media in terms of exploring all the channels that you can. I also want to implore you that you take your time to ask questions when you need to ask questions during the course of this conversation, and feel free to engage part-time. You can also drop your questions. I'll try as much as possible to answer them. And one of the things I think we've been able to do over the years is to integrate traditional marketing, which is the offline marketing, to online, and we're able to measure results in the place of integration. So I will share some of the insights, maybe mention some of the clients we work with, and tell you some of the things we've done. So a very quick one. This will be some of the things we'll cover. How to use digital, the difference between digital marketing and traditional, understanding digital marketing, social media marketing, channels, leveraging, and then we'll do the questions. So for the first one, there's always an integration here where the real market analysis. One thing we must always also accept is that traditional marketing is never going to go away. The category is never going to go away. It's just that the level of engagement will reduce relatively across many channels. So in other places where they don't have deep internet penetration, digital really would not give you the best result. So I give you a case study. So we did some projects under the government of a particular state. Okay, let's say, let me mention, that's still within preview. That's those states. And arrival there, we thought Twitter and all of that was going to work massively for us. We did everything, all the social media channels, we're pushing out emails. Only mobile SMS system, WhatsApp and Facebook work in that region. Every other channel was almost literally zero or waste of resource for the kind of audience that we have for that particular region. But similar campaign was carried out somewhere else in Nigeria where we ran similar projects, and we saw that those ones engaged Twitter more than they engaged every other channel. So you have to create a balance even when you're doing that. And that being said, I'll just quickly do this. Digital marketing is not free. Take that from me, it's never free. So they tell you to open platforms and you see people, a lot of people tell you, oh, this thing is free. It's not free. There's no place that is, I can't find it free anywhere because it costs money to work with it. So take off the cap or take off the belief that there is something called free in digital marketing. So the best way we can help in terms of driving this is for people to believe that it's not free, because it would cost you money to run ads, it will cost you money to stay online, it will cost you money to run data. So it's not free in any format. Now, but it's your traditional marketing that's finally helps you convert largely. So if you still run a brick and mortar store, for example, or you're running a business that has not been digitalized, you're not doing the wrong thing. You just need to leverage digital so that you're able to achieve what your objectives are on the other side. Now, a quick one. So this is how the buyer's journey usually go like. So in traditional, from a stranger, you're trying to convert the person into a visitor or attract or get the person engaged or something. But for digital, usually there's what they call the buyer's journey. So which the person comes from being a stranger, the person visits you, the person becomes a lead, then it becomes a customer, then the person can either become your advocate or a promoter. So if you check this whole process, strangely, one of the statistics I've seen largely around time, I did some schooling across the world. I've done some schooling in other parts of the world, and they need 21,000 contact points in terms of impression. There will be 21 contact points as an individual for you to remember that a brand exists. So how do you leave that impression? So if you've watched a movie like Focus, there's a movie called Focus where the guy, they needed him to bid a particular number, and they kept placing the numbers continuously. If you've read the book like Think and Grow Rich, you will see the law of desire in the book that talks about the place where you need to write things and you need to visualize and all of that. If you've done things like if you have a vision board, you will see something like, this is where I want to be, this is what I want. So you must continuously make yourself available. So for popular brands like, so if you're traveling across maybe United States or in Canada or in all those places, you would see a big sign of a yellow sign with M on it. That's McDonald's, anywhere you see. But if you come to Nigeria and you find a building that is yellow, all that comes to your mind likely will be MTN. So that is what the contact points need to look like. So you need to get people who are strangers to see that they get attracted, then they become visitors. Now, when somebody becomes a visitor, it means that the person is coming back maybe one time or second time to engage the brand. Then the person can make a consideration that will make the person a lead. So you become a potential lead. And how do I know my lead? So there's a part of digital marketing where you do profiling, where you're able to do customer persona. So ideally, if it's in the context of this conversation, if I'm going to use Nigeria as a case study, so for example, if I have a house in Nigeria, that the cost of purchasing the house in Nigerian terms, which is like maybe $1 million for the house, in Nigeria currently would be 450 million. Where can I find the person that would buy that, which is somebody that can afford 450 million naira? And in the US or in other currencies, maybe in the US currency it would be $1 million. So you now ask, where can I find somebody who is able to purchase something of 450 million naira in cash? So there are parts of Lagos I will not show my adverts. There are parts of town that I will not go to. There are people I know categorically, they will not fall into my personas in terms of that scope. Then if I have a product that's of similar value, but very, very, low in cost, maybe all of it is $10,000, which is like 4.5 million naira. What category of people are going to make that kind of purchase from me? Then I will know the kind of location where they are, what are their lifestyle, what are their interests, what do they like to do. So I'm able to convert that. That's where you begin to know that this person is a potential lead, so that you don't get it wrong. Also, factor into your advertising that there is something called advert waste. Out of your 100 targets, maybe you are targeting to get to 100 people, your advert would also create advert waste. You will get to 250 people. The 150 on it are going to be your advert waste, but they will have had a contact with your brand. So factor in advert waste, because most people always want to calculate the mass and say, okay, we spent $100 on this campaign. We want to make sure we get maybe 10 people. Forget it. It doesn't work that way in advertising or in marketing. You must always factor in waste. Now, then we'll talk about who is a customer and who is your consumer. Well, I'm just talking about customer here, because if I'm selling a product like in Nigeria, the popular noodles, which is called the Indomie, the customer are the parents, the consumers are the children. Like the question I usually ask in my class is, are you a customer to Coca-Cola or you're a consumer to Coca-Cola? Depending on the category where you find yourself. And then you now talk about people who are now promoters, who now become your advocates, who carry your brand and they put it on your head. So that is how digital works. So you see them, they are willing to share your content, put it up as DP, put it up on their Instagram, on their Facebook, on LinkedIn, and TikTok, and all of those channels. But that's not part of the conversation now. So those are the people that now becomes your promoters. Then we'll now talk about a few things here. So you see magazine ad, brochure. Okay, so I was at the private jet hangar sometimes last week in Nigeria. It was an interesting one, very nice place. But I just thought to myself that the magazines that were being placed in these places are now obsolete because in the past 3-4 months, nobody is producing these luxury magazines again. So it's now obsolete. So you talk about brochure, you talk about printed materials, you talk about flyers, sometimes even postcards, catalogs, and all of that. Radio, TV. I've not been listening to radio largely. I've not been listening to radio because I've been indoors. Then talk about um, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Hello?
can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So we talk about TV. TV also has moved digital. So you have a lot of digital content on TV now. You talk about Netflix, for example. They are grossly into digital TV. We talk about Iroko TV. We talk about um, uh, what's this guy's name now? Show something. I can't remember. Show Max. All those guys, they are all digital forms of TV. So that means that I can be in one whole room, produce all my content, get content from people, and then I stream it to multiple people. Now, all we just need to develop is capacity to accommodate more, which is called SaaS. So if you've done a bit of technology, you know software as a service is called SaaS. So you see scalability in those kind of products as compared to every other product that has been there. Then we'll talk about digital. Facebook. I guess most people are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and many more. Then we'll talk about advert banners, we'll talk about content marketing, talk about Google Ads, we'll talk about video marketing. Now, all of these, we're beginning to do the advanced part of it now because currently I'm taking a class where I'm, I'm trying to get certified on voice search marketing, which is a technology that is on everybody's device. So you see Serial, you see your phone, Google asks you, you see, I want to go to Ogba. So find me a restaurant near me. Those voice notes that you're giving is a form of search engine optimization. So, and how do you arrange a content that would optimize in that manner? You find that Amazon is selling it largely now. So Amazon just technically remove the battery and make the product very cheap. So you find all those Google Homes and all of those devices. That is a new form of search that is coming up soon. And if you don't start looking projectingly as a business owner, that how do I get voice search into my own kind of brand or into my kind of business, you may probably not scale. Because when it will happen suddenly like the COVID-19 thing. And then you think you're out of business because every other person will have made migrations. So you need to start aligning your website, your content to fit into the current realities. So I was still talking to a school over the weekend, and the guy was telling me that he wants to develop his website in Joomla and all of those things. And I said, can you pick some more contemporary stuff and let's get it done? And he said, no, let's get it done. And the guy said, no, he will along the line because give him 2-3 years down the line, he's not able to go far. He's not able to move an inch because he has stayed in his old ways. Now, you ask yourself, what did BlackBerry do wrong? How did BlackBerry get out of the market? How did Motorola get out of the market? How did um, Even when BlackBerry gave the app free on every device, that any device, they were doing cross platform stuff. How come BlackBerry still failed? Their app still failed. There are many apps like that that have come and they are gone. There are many products. Nokia did the same thing. Nokia, that was even a fast-moving organization that started as a paper company, as a stationery company, and changed gradually to become a technology company. How come they failed? And that's a company from Finland of maybe about 5 million people. BlackBerry, which is a research in motion, is from Canada. So how come these guys fail? How come some of them succeed? So if you've read books like Good to Great, you've read books like Why the Mighty Fall by Jim and all of that, you understand why many people don't do forward thinking in their business. For example, we just recently started our market facing, looking at the capacity that we have currently. We can service markets like the US market. We can service the market like Canadian market, like the Europe market, where we would earn more from that side, and we're able to convert in our local currency, and it will how many eye points can I get in terms of marketing here? How many sales points can we get and all of that? Then to measure return on investment, it's usually very difficult. Then the focus on branding largely, and then it's kind of old and a bit passive. The result rates are dropping. But one thing I always like about them, every time I'm driving on the freeway, especially, I like to do long trips when I'm in the US. And on these freeways, you find these big billboards that say, oh, McDonald's is one mile away, or need to get some kind of results from that. Um, so we'll talk about digital now. Now, why I say unlimited reach is because it depends on the person setting up the ad, largely. It depends on the person setting up the ad. Hello, can you hear me, please? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes,
Hello?
yes, yes.
And then, okay. So I just wanted to be sure
You
because
may
I was saying,
speak up a little because you're hearing me.
on my screen was a very long while now for some years. So I prefer to do lookalike ads. So for example, I'm targeting people within the metropolitan Lagos. I would take maybe the whole database of Lagos State, which is like the phone numbers of people who reside in Lagos State, and use it as my hard targeting. By the time I do that on maybe Facebook or some sort of lookalike ad, I get somewhere around maybe 1 million impressions because of the kind of database I use. But if somebody has the same kind of ad spend, maybe we are both giving maybe $2,000 to run an ad, the person may not get as much as that because of the kind of targeting, but it's usually unlimited. So it now depends on the skill of the person setting up the ad and having an understanding that, for example, Facebook's targets based on interest, while Google target based on keyword. Please put that behind your mind every time you're working online. There are certain platforms that target based on interest. So let me give you an example of interest. So if I get your phone number now and I have it on my device, on my phone, the next thing that will happen is because Facebook has access to my contacts on my phone, they will start suggesting you as friends on Facebook. So it shows that the same phone number that you have on your Facebook is the same phone number I have on my Facebook, and they're suggesting you as my friend on Facebook. So that shows that it's a look-alike friend suggestion. So you begin to wonder. So I met this guy last week, and today Facebook is advertising the guy to become my friend on Facebook. That I should add the person. They've already started introducing that also on LinkedIn. So if you started using LinkedIn in the past 1 week, that future is a new future. Now, LinkedIn to have actually upped their game in the past 1 month. Most of the ad features that you find on Facebook can now be found on LinkedIn. They've started doing things like events. You can host events now. You can do a couple of things. The only thing they've not allowed so far is live videos. They've done it for a few accounts, but not for everybody's account yet. So begin to do those forward thinking stuff to do. Conversion is actually accurate. So when it comes to the conversion channel, you know the people who you are supposed to deal with, you know certain people you are dealing with, you know, then you're also able to analyze your results accurately under 100%. So I know how much I spend, and I know how many clicks I got, how many impressions I got, which location was this person, what did the person do. So you also know that it's cost effective. So, for example, to buy an average billboard that runs across any of the big express in the metropolitan Lagos, you must have at least 3 million naira. Same number of, same amount of money can be used elsewhere. So, if I take the same 3 million naira and I go online, I would achieve more results than the person who has done the billboard, because that is actually restricted to a particular highway in Lagos. That's the big way. Meanwhile, for digital, I can say, okay, I'm going to spend this 3 million naira over the next 1 month, and it will cover across metropolitan Lagos. Then we'll talk about the focus on passionate users as compared to being focused on branding, because so many people just want to have that, you know, they are flashy, they're looking good. Meanwhile, I used to say that the bottom line for any form of marketing is where you are online. A lot of impressions, a lot of clicks, like, comments does not mean your advert is successful, except the objective of the organization is different. So we dealt with okay, so popular in Nigeria. So it's a brand that we worked with in the past. So I can mention them here now. So we were dealing with Chivita, we were managing Happy Hour, all of those things. Their campaign objective was for them to get impressions and to get reach. Meanwhile, when we started dealing with another brand entirely, which is like of David Wedge, dealing with most of the other ones that had a bit of retail, they wanted to see money on the table. So if we spend $100 on this campaign, how much are we going to get in sales? Some other organizations set other objectives, but usually people want to get sales. People use them into conversion. So getting that whole process done, remember the slide I showed earlier when we're talking about when you begin to convert your customers, your visitors into customers. It's a journey entirely. So you must know how to go through that journey, and it's very important that you are smart about it, because everybody wants to have a mind share. That is a bit of their year. That's EAR, share. So everybody wants to get a share of all this in context. You get, everybody wants to get a bit of everybody's mind in context. So get that too, and then it's new and it has proven to have high success rates. So we now go straight to the who, the what, the why, and how of digital marketing. So here clearly our brand. So the whole framework is that you work with ideas, you work with audience, you work with scalable business plan, and you work with Okay, hello. Okay. If you can hear me, just say hello. Sorry,
We can hear
that
you.
somebody just
We
say
can
hello.
hear you. We can hear
Can hear
you.
me? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Let me just.
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So we talk. This is the framework where we talk about the audience, scalable business plan, the in your head, the videos, the image, the audio, the text. Now let's come to channels. So I'll quickly run through channels. So we'll talk about your videos, which is on the YouTube, your Instagram, talked about images, and text is secondary. So understand how all of this work. I was working on somebody's a popular pastor channel over the past 2-3 months. We've been able to grow subscription by about 9,000 subscribers in 3 months, and then our watch hours crossed 4,000. So if you don't have more than 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you cannot make money from YouTube. So which means that you can easily stay in your house and just using your phone, just the same way you do live streaming, you can do that and generate a lot of content for yourself, but that's not the primary conversation. So you talk about Twitter, all of it. They're going to share this slide with you. See what is primary to them and what is secondary to each platform. So you find them here. And then identify the age range of your target, which is what I was talking about customer persona. So for example, if I sell high lashes, I know the gender is female. You maybe out of maybe 1,000 female, then you find maybe target for such products is female. Then you find location, you find content plan, you find your content formats, their interests, what are these people interested in. Then we come to then what's next for social media. We talk about SEO, search engine optimization. So register your business on Google My Business immediately. So I was discussing with the real estate guy yesterday night, and for all his properties he has on the mainland, he's got almost 12 locations he's selling currently. How did he get his biggest results? Just post. They can't distribute flyers, they can't do anything. They went to register on Google My Business and got people who started doing reviews for them. So every prospect that comes to the site, they tell them, oh, quickly get on Google and write a review about us. So what happens is that anytime they come across that particular name of the estate, for example, if I call it ABC Estate, the next thing somebody is Googling, where is ABC Estate? Because it's registered on Google My Business, they can drive straight to the location of that place. So just send the name and say, put it on Google Map. And the guy was getting a lot of conversion online. So that is one with search engine optimization. There are other things you can do on search engine optimization. If you have a WordPress website, tell your web developer I should enable your Yoast and then go through the whole process with him on Yoast SEO. And then you can do a lot from there. Then we'll talk about content marketing. Content marketing is the king. You must know how to sell with content, know how to tell stories, know how to, for example, there was a story I put up a few weeks ago, about 4 weeks ago. It's something you can go and Google. A country who fought goats, $1 and it was a big investment for a country to just sit down and say they are fighting war and of lions. At one point, they had to bring in the goats that was called Judas goats. So, but if you go online and you see those kind of stories, that content got a lot of engagement. When I started telling the story of how the goats arrived, there were just 3 goats, and the goats grew and became over 100,000 goats on the island, and they were damaging the whole place. But that's not in the context of this place. So you find marketing. That is another bit entirely how to discuss with people socially and get your social conversation going. Then we'll talk about PPC. Pay per click is another set of marketing that you must get yourself into. Understanding how pay per click work, how costs in that space work. There are brands that have built themselves around this, especially in developed countries, for pay per click kind of ad. So this cut across every social platform. And then affiliate marketing. I know this is large, but we've not gotten it right in this part of the world. So you find people who say, I'm an affiliate marketer, but you see them still struggle. So it looks close to what the multi-level marketers guys do. So if you've done that before, you may understand affiliate marketing. That will be an advertising is close to, or is another name for programmatic advertising. So it's usually like a display advertising, but it's a new belt entirely. Now we'll talk about um,
Hello? Hello, Dayo.
begging that this is the part where marketing becomes real, where you become somebody that they cannot forget in a hurry. I know many of us have never seen know them. So many people have businesses, they run businesses, and they don't know what it's all about. They don't know what automation is all about. They don't know how the lifeline of automation works for their business. Please, as much as possible, automation. Anything you can do, get people's email, get people's phone number, get people's name, and get them into your automated funnel. Now, this is how channel. So I would explain this in a short light to you. Now, there's something called abandoned cart, Marsha.
All right.
Please,
All right.
Get it right that you must. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello, go ahead.
Hello? Hello? Marketing adoption right, then do your email marketing. And then once you can get right track, then do your online PR. Online PR comes to play when it's still tied to your SEO, it's still tied to when you're trying to do your, what do you call it now? You're trying to do likes of Wikipedia and all of that. That they need a lot of reference about you online. Then it's not that we are going out to do marketing outright. You can read about it on HubSpot, but it's the fact that I give you value so much that you cannot do without me. That you come back to me with other kind of services and say, "Can you do this for me?" Imagine if you have a very good mechanic that works on your car. Before you know what's happening, you start asking the mechanic, "Do you have a good rewire? Do you have a good vulcanizer? The guy who can fix my tire properly?" Because the guy has provided good service. That's what inbound marketing is all about. And then sponsored content. You must always have good sponsored content. You must spend money on sponsored content. And then I think I will stop there. Thank you very much for having me.
Wow, wow. That was awesome. And that was great. Thank you, Dayo, Ayeni.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, we know you can always deliver because that is your ministry. I believe people at gain and enjoy themselves and have learned new things. Okay, so just 2 minutes. If you have a question in just 2 minutes, we'll quickly entertain just one question. Just 2 minutes if you have a question. You can see your hand up. I will quickly recognize you. Or you drop your question in the chat room. If I see your question in the chat room, I'll pick you. Okay. Thank you, Dayo.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for having me.